The number one question I get from mums who want to leave the UK and move abroad is, how am I going to make money online? And I get it, because when I first started, I felt exactly the same. I had no idea what I was going to do. I couldn't see what I had or what people would pay me for. And I felt like everybody else had some sort of obvious skill or career or expertise, and I was just a mum and an ex-nurse. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through 5 realistic digital products that people just like you are selling right now to fund their life abroad, including some of the ones I've sold myself. There's no big tech overwhelm. You don't need a huge audience. It's just about figuring out the best one that works for you and your family and something that you really love to create. So before I get into the list, why digital products? Well, to be honest, selling digital products online is probably the easiest and best ways that you can make money while you're traveling that doesn't affect what you're doing, your day-to-day life. It's like genuine location independence. Once you've made it once you've created it, you can sell it infinite amount of times and make money. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, it doesn't matter what time zone you're on, you can make money. You know, you don't need to be stuck at a desk. You don't need to be worrying about whether the kids need a babysitter. You don't need to have clients in a particular time zone, but also you don't need to be some sort of tech guru to create one. But what you do need is something that you know that other people will pay you to learn. And I guarantee you have at least one thing, probably more than one thing. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so number one, and this is where I would tell most people to start, is a digital guide or some sort of PDF to download. So this is basically a document that you create. It could be 10 pages long, it could be 50 pages long, and it's going to walk someone through doing what it is that you teach them to do. So it could be how to move abroad with your kids on a budget, how to homeschool your kids while you're traveling. It could be how to make healthy, nutritious snacks for your toddler. It could be how to navigate Disneyland with your kids. It could be anything. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's something that you know that other people don't know and want to learn. So it's probably something that people are already asking you about. So I would start by asking yourself, what is it that people always say that I know something about and they want to learn from me? But it needs to be simple to make, simple to sell, and simple to deliver. And, you know, price-wise, this isn't something that's going to retire you overnight. It can be anywhere from sort of £5 to £20 or £30, depending on the value that you're giving and the size of the download. And these low ticket offers, they can be a really good source of income, but obviously you need to sell a lot of them. So it's not going to be something that's going to be funding your travels in the first week or two, but it is the perfect place to start with selling, because it kind of gets you over that fear of selling and fear of showing up and fear of creating something. Plus, it's going to be one of the top things in your funnel, which would lead people into the higher ticket, bigger offers further down the funnel. So number 2 is some sort of mini course or maybe a video course. And this is something I've created and sold many times. So a mini course is basically just what it says, a series of modules or lessons with possibly PDFs. You could have audio, you could have video, something that they're going to work their way through. So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and they're going to get some sort of outcome at the end where they can say, yes, I've finished this course and now I know how to do this thing. It doesn't have to be hugely long. It can be 3 lessons or 3 videos. It can be 10. It doesn't really matter. You're not creating some sort of open university course here. You're just teaching someone how to do something specific. So you go, here's the problem that you have. Here's a solution that I have, and here's how you make it happen, make it work. I think the trap lots of people fall into is making it too big. They go too grand. They get carried away with making all this incredible stuff, but then it's either so much value that they're charging too much money, or they don't charge enough, or they spend all this time doing it and then no one buys it. So start relatively small. Don't get carried away. Solve one specific problem and solve it really well. And the realistic price range for this, I mean, again, it's not something that needs to be a huge price tag. Somewhere between maybe £30 and maybe £200, depending on the problem, depending on the result you're going to give that person, and depending on the size of the course. So, for example, my course is called The Exit Plan, How to Leave the UK with Kids. It's priced at £29. It's 3 modules, it's videos, it's PDFs. It's got some workbooks and some bonuses as well in there. And it's focused, it's practical, it gets the job done. It takes someone from stuck and not knowing what to do to knowing exactly how they're going to leave the UK with their families. And it's only £29. So it's not going to break the bank. It's not something that's a difficult decision for people to want to purchase. And that's the sweet spot, really. Nothing too big and complicated that they're not going to finish, but nothing too expensive as well. So something value packed at a good price. So the third thing that I offer, and this is what really changed everything for me, is coaching or consulting. So this is where you work with people, either groups or one-to-one, to help them solve that specific problem or reach a specific goal. Now, this is more in depth. This is more high value. It's more high skilled, I guess, as well. So it's something where you have to feel confident in teaching somebody or guiding them through the process of whatever it is that you're doing. So like I said, I trained as a life coach back in 2021. But I had been a mental health nurse for 16 years. So it was like a natural next step for me. So I have a lot of experience in life coaching. And then from there, I moved into business coaching as I found I was helping lots of women start their own businesses. So again, it's a natural next step for me. So because I'd done it myself, I could help other women do the same thing. And that's exactly what you can do. So whether it's something related to your job, and you can be some sort of consultant in your job, or if you're confident in coaching people, it could be anything. Maybe you could play the guitar really well. You could teach people to play the guitar, or you could teach people how to do social media management. You could train as a life coach, a mindset coach. You could be a financial advisor. I mean, it depends on what your skills are, but there are so many things you could do. And you could, again, if you're happy to coach people, work with people one-to-one or in groups, this is where the big money is. And the beauty of this model is you don't need a huge audience. Like if you're selling as a low ticket offer, you need lots of people to sell it to. If you are charging higher prices for one-to-one coaching or consulting, then you don't need a massive audience because you only need a couple of clients a month. And you can build that through things like word of mouth as well. So realistic price range for this, I mean, it can be anywhere from £75 to £500 per hour. Or you can create a package or a program where you offer a certain amount of weeks of coaching for, anywhere from £500 to £5,000. So for example, my planning calls where I help families who want to leave the UK and they want actual one-to-one support with that and how they're going to be going about that. So I offer planning calls. They're £75 for an hour's one-to-one call. And then I have my Freedom Business Builder, which is my one-to-one business coaching program, which I offer at a 3 to 4 sessions package. And that starts at £197 for the 3 sessions. So you don't need hundreds of clients, but you do need to have a couple coming in fairly frequently, fairly regularly. So number 4 is templates. Now, this isn't something I've done myself, but this is a really fantastic one if you love organizing things, or if you have a background in, admin or HR or finance or anything process driven and structured. So templates could be spreadsheets, they could be Canva, they could be Trello dashboards, they could be document frameworks, anything really that saves people time by having a done for you starting point. So things like budget trackers, meal planners, visa application checklists, packing list templates, homeschool planners. I mean, honestly, it could be anything at all. This isn't one I have sold personally. This is one that I am planning to do in the future. And a great place to sell things like these is somewhere like Etsy. You can set up your own Etsy store. I have got an Etsy store, but I don't actually use it at the moment. But you set up your own Etsy store, and you can make hundreds of these kind of things and just have a really big store on Etsy, and people will just pay. Again, it's not a big amount of money, but if you have enough products on there, and you're marketing it correctly, you can have a steady stream of income from something like this. And the beauty of this is once you've created it and put it on Etsy or wherever you're selling it, there's no more work. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do anything. People will buy it while you're asleep. People will buy it while you're sitting on a beach in Thailand or while you're playing with the kids. It's a great source of income once you have created them. And then the fifth one is something I think is a bit underused actually. And it's taking a skill you already have and packaging it as a fixed price product. So maybe you are an amazing copywriter or a VA, or you're incredible at social media, or you've got bookkeeping experience. Instead of freelancing by the hour, you could actually package up what you do. So, for example, I will plan and create your Instagram content for a month, £150. I will write 5 blog posts for your business, £200. So you've got the fixed scope, the fixed offer, a fixed price, and a fixed time limit to deliver that product, all done remotely. And I think this is how a lot of traveling families and mums actually start, not necessarily with creating a course or a PDF, but with a skill that they have packaged up so it's marketable and deliverable straight away. So there are your 5. And obviously there are others, but to be honest, the hardest part isn't about picking the first one to do. The hardest part is believing that you are good enough at what you're doing to deserve being paid for it. Because I pretty much guarantee you've spent years accumulating all this knowledge and all this experience in life that feels normal to you, that feels just mundane, like everyone probably knows this stuff. But to somebody else, this stuff is gold. This is exactly what they need to hear, exactly what they need to get and to make their lives easier. Maybe they've got kids, maybe they've got a business, maybe they're busy with work and they need this thing done for them, or they need this support with this one thing that they're struggling with. And you are the person to help them. So if they can't figure out on their own, that's where your product comes in. That's where your service comes in. So like I said, the question isn't what could I sell? The question you need to ask yourself is, what do people already ask me for help with? So if you've watched this video and you can sort of feel like, I know what my thing might be, but I don't really know how to turn it into something I could sell. That is exactly what I help mums do in my Freedom Business Builder program. It's a one-to-one program with me over Zoom, and we will build your first online offer from scratch. Not just plan it, but actually build it and create it. And then by the end, you will have something real and tangible that you can sell online. If this is something that you think would really help you, go to the description and click on the link and book yourself a free call, no obligation. We can just have a chat and see where you're at. And if you're right at the beginning of all this and you just have no idea if you think any of this is possible and you really don't know where to start, go to the link in my description and get yourself my free guide, the first £100 online, which gives you loads of ideas of how you can make that first £100 online if you really have got no clue at the moment. And it's a great place to start because that first £100 that you make is the thing that really gives you the confidence to keep going and keep making more things. And drop me a comment if any of this resonates, if you found any of this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.